refill my drink.
Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Deus Ex. Last time we went through Hong Kong and we sorted out this little problem with the triads concerning the Dragon Tooth Sword. So now we're just about to enter VersaLife. So I'll explain this to you on the way.
If you need help, talk to one of the receptionists.
So what are we doing here exactly? Well, we've got to give the ROM module for this nifty Dragon Tooth Sword to both sides of the triads to stop them.
You do not require a security pass to visit the first 3 levels of offices.
To stop them going at war with each other, and the only way to do that is to steal it from the VersaLife base, which is where it's being held. So that's what we're going to do. But first, we got to find Mr. Hunley, whom Mr. Tracer Tong found for us, and I'm explaining this very inarticulately, but anyway, we'll...
Welcome to VersaLife. We make tomorrow look like yesterday. How can I help you?
I'm looking for Mr. Hunley.
He's upstairs making his rounds. Look for a man in a black suit.
Thank you.
Alright, Hunley, 2132. So, yeah, like I was saying, Tracer Tong got that kill switch out of our heads using his nifty little machine in his basement.
Please address inquiries to my supervisor.
There's an interesting room down here that I didn't notice until I played this earlier today.
I have work to do.
Please stay out of the work area.
There's nothing to do down here, but... yeah, so I did try indeed to record this earlier, but
We're all out of company brochures.
it was all blurry and low resolution, so I figured instead of keeping it and suffering through that with you, I thought I'd do it again.
You work at Psionics? You look like you could have the gift.
So this is all going to be rather run-of-the-mill crap for me. Grey Death cases misdiagnosed, Hong Kong standard. Authorities confirmed today that a number of mysterious illnesses reported at area clinics were not cases of Grey Death, as had previously been feared, but merely a seasonal outbreak of influenza. Dr. Chang Lam of the People's Health Administration headed the inquiry. I can say with complete certainty that these cases exhibit absolutely none of the symptoms of the so-called Grey Death, cases which, I might add, have so far only been reported in the less well-managed cities of America and Europe. These malcontents who have spread rumours to the contrary are merely feeding upon the unjustified fears of the hard-working men and women of Hong Kong. Dr. Lam went on to say that anyone observed making such claims should be reported to local party leaders for counselling. So, apparently the Hong Kong government are going to try and blame recent illnesses on the flu rather than the Grey Death, which is being a bit naive, but maybe it's a cover-up, a big conspiracy. Well, it wouldn't be a Deus Ex without a conspiracy now, would it? I like the nifty way that VersaLife building gives us a good look on Snotchy Road from up here. It's pretty good to be able to see everything in real time. If I get my sniper out here, and I swear to everyone that I'm not actually going to use it to kill anyone, I'm just using it to zoom in so you can see that all looks pretty familiar down there. Well, this looks like Mr. Hundley.
Mr. Hunley, shift supervisor. Who might you be?
I'm contracting this month. Quite a facility you have here.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, we're pretty proud of the work we're doing.
Any chance I could get a tour of the labs?
Oh, no, I'm afraid not. Trade secrets and all that.
I'll make it worth your while.
To the tune of what? 2,000?
2,000 sounds reasonable, but I don't have the cash on me.
Fine, fine. Just come back when you do.
Well, I like how Hundley just assumed we meant paying him cash and not giving a blowjob or something, but...
So much for the schedule, right, mate?
The schedule? Yeah, sure.
It's swell to miss a day of work, but they bloody hell better push back the delivery. I know I won't be done.
They'll understand.
At least the super freighter's on our way to America. No more special agents nosing about up here.
Special agents?
You know, the ones in the suits with grey skin. Eyes tattooed on the backs of their necks. I'd sure like to know what was in those tanks to make them so uptight.
Well, Special Agents definitely sounds like we're on the right track here at VersaLife, and we already knew that, of course, because we were on the roof just a few episodes ago dealing with MJ12. And this guy has probably one of the worst accents I've ever heard. I'm not even sure what he's trying to emulate, but it isn't good regardless of what it is. And there is a guy working very diligently in the corner here whom we're going to go and annoy for passcodes.
What?
Just looking around.
People are trying to concentrate.
They keep you up here pretty late.
That's because they don't want people looking over my shoulder.
Why not?
Huh. I guess it doesn't matter what I say anymore. It's because I falsify all the records, okay?
They probably don't want you telling people that.
So, I don't care. I figured it out today, how they do it. People with my job got the Great Death. In a couple of weeks, I could be in a camp. I could already be sick.
Why would they do that?
Whatever's in those labs, stuff goes in there. Instruments, military personnel. None of it goes on the record. Iverson had this job, that's why he got sick. Chang, Kylie, Watts. Now it's me.
I'd really like to check out those labs.
You some kind of spy or something?
Does it matter?
If I get you down there, can you do something for me?
What's that?
Hunley, kill him. I bet you can do it. You guys have ways to keep from getting caught. I can give you clearance.
Some classic voice acting there, but anyhow, there's a data cube. I think something bad is happening downstairs, but I don't know what. Yesterday I found a man in the bathroom dressed in street clothes and raving about I don't know what. Doctors and the things they did to him. Downstairs, he said, but there is no downstairs. I don't know how we got into the building. When I called security, a bunch of scary guys in riot armor showed up. They didn't say anything, just shot him with a dart. He stopped talking. Maybe he was dead. When I tried to get closer, they shoved me halfway across the room like swatting an insect. My supervisor came, questioned me about loyalty and shared objectives with the program, mentioned how dangerous Hong Kong streets were, that security was for my protection, and that it was there to prevent unfortunate incidents. There are more of the guys in scary riot armor. They're coming this way. I think I'll take a restroom break, and I highly doubt it turned out very well for that guy in the data cube transcription, but it seems like there is some sort of mass cover-up happening in VersaLife. And when I said this guy had the worst accent ever, I was obviously forgetting about Tess, or whatever her name was, down in the Lucky Money, who quite clearly has a much, much worse accent. Now, if we try and find Mr. Hunley, here he is.
Ready to make a deal? 2,000 for a look at our laboratories?
2,000 sounds reasonable, but I don't have the cash on me.
Fine, fine. Just come back when you do.
I don't know what JC's smoking, but 2,000 doesn't sound very reasonable to me at all. Now, if we can try and get Hunley's AI path. Yeah. So, in order... that guy upstairs really wants us to kill Hunley. And, I mean, it's pretty crappy of Tracer Tong to not loan us any cash when clearly he must have known that we would have to buy Hunley off. But anyway, Tong saved our lives, so I guess he expects that we can deal with this ourselves. And luckily... Wow, that... I don't know why that just happened. But anyway, yep, Hunley has been knocked unconscious. And... well, the game treats unconscious targets just as well as it treats dead targets, and by that I mean, of course, dead equals knocked out in the world of Deus Ex. So John Smith here with the very, very generic name.
Alright, killed your boss.
You mean...
He's out of the picture. I'd advise you not to hang around too long. Now how about getting me into the labs?
Well, okay. Sure, it doesn't matter to me. The code to the elevator is 6512. I'll make sure you have access once you get to the lab.
And quite clearly the developers are taking the piss here because no one is actually called John Smith. It is far too cliched for it to even exist, but of course we know that cliches exist for a reason and they come from stereotypes and whatever, John Smith, blah blah blah. I said some witty quip about this last time, but of course I didn't save the recording, so let's just pretend I said something really funny.
You the one they just cleared for level 1?
Yeah, that's me.
You are welcome to stroll around the laboratories, but respect the work that we do here. Your security pass can be cancelled with no warning.
I've looked forward to this for a long time.
Security is watching through the cameras. If you cause trouble, an alarm will sound, and the guards won't wait to ask questions.
Yes, sir. I'll try not to get in anyone's way.
Now I realise this is starting to come off as a bit of a speed run, but that is only because I know exactly what I'm doing, which is the best thing for any LPer to have in their repertoire is actually a knowledge of what the hell they're doing. And this room looks very familiar to me, and it might be because this was the very stage of the opening scene of the game with our very creepy friend Walton Simons and his red-nutted friend whom we have not seen since, although now that I mention it I do recall finding a section of Millennium magazine with certain people in it, and of course I'm talking about...
It's really a question of abstraction.
Exactly.
You can't be dealing with this sort of thing on the base pair level.
Essentially what I told Miss Chow. Tissue augmentation. It's not a matter of twiddling bits.
We're having an important discussion.
You met the American team? Have a look around. The project is finally starting to heat up.
Worst accents ever, and I realise I've said that quite a lot in Hong Kong.
We need to stay focused on tools.
Dr. Harrison, I was...
Yes, I agree.
The older scientists don't grasp what it means to have so much data.
Still, we have to throw them a bone once in a while.
With the right software, organism design should be indistinguishable from CAD-CAM.
We'll rip up another non-Mendelian. They love the Karkians.
I was running a regression analysis on the UC, and it appears we have a serious error that could result in uncontrolled replication. Until a new version of the control system can be tested, I've installed a temporary path that will initiate a cascading shutdown sequence. This will also destroy the UC in the process, so use only in emergency. The code is 525. Ops says the new system should be online within 72 hours, so stick to low yield runs until then, within 6 months. And we have a very interesting looking room here.
You shouldn't be back here.
I know I shouldn't, but I can do what I like. I am JC Denton. But I'm going to get out of here just in case you decide to start shooting at me.
It is a simple request.
Lab procedure forbids.
The psionics laboratory.
The psionics laboratory has no business worrying about weak interactions between incidental subatomic particles.
Our work on Fitjof Capra.
Capra? A quantum quack.
Don't criticize what you don't understand.
Oh, don't mind me, I'm just making a chair conga line. Alright, let's go to the toilet. Unisex toilets, of course, are all the rage in Deus Ex. Let's go down these stairs, and, well, it looks like we're done in this particular lobby area of VersaLife. So, well, would you look at that, there's some pretty neat shit going on down there, so let's see what we can do about getting down there. There is an elevator, and obviously we love elevators in this game. But before we go down, we must go up. Because you never know what you'll find, and the best thing about pseudo-RPGs is the exploration element. And obviously it is also the best part of regular RPGs, but pseudo-RPGs in particular.
Being informed of any visitors.
And there is a man in black up here with a very nice view over the very reflective tiles on the bottom of the lobby there. Level 4 magnetic augmentation chamber key. Harrison, as per our discussion, I will retain root access. Regarding the other key members of the weapons research team, M. Chow should be given full access, while the others will be granted only user access until further notice. That is all hunky-dory, but before we get into any specifics regarding M. Chow, we're going to hack into this computer and see what we can do about shutting down the security system, just in case things get nasty. And things are very liable to get nasty in this game. Seems we've unlocked some sort of steps in the ground, and well, I love secret steps just as much as the next person, so let's go check out what is actually the deal with those. But chill out, we will indeed be getting to the laboratories imminently. We just need to check out these secret things here, and Lord only knows how this model replica of the globe is actually floating beneath this hand. You'd expect there to be a string holding it up or something, but actually there is nothing. So there you go. Anti-gravity model worlds in this game. Kind of like Anachronox or something, but I don't know, that's a story for another time.
The ROM encoding should be in this wing of the laboratory.
Thank you, Tracer Tong. There's very useful information that I will hold quite dear to me for the rest of my life. So there is also an elevator there. Not quite sure why we'd need that. And obviously these MJ-12 troops aren't too bothered with our intrusion. Not sure why, they're just not. Tracer Tong is quite correct when he says that the ROM encoding is in this wing of the laboratory, as indeed they are up in that terminal up there. But before we go dealing with that, because the alarm will surely go off if we try and go anywhere near that, we want to explore the labs, which are downstairs. So here we are. You can see the glass walkway above us, where we were just a few minutes prior. And, well, speak of the devil, and he may be standing there in the room where you are likely to be in a few minutes. Some very nice looking women in black here. And what is interesting to note is that that guy with the bad accent said something about eyes printed on the backs of people's necks. This chick here is a good example of that. There is some sort of eyeball on the back of her neck. Why is that? Could it be symbolic? Who knows? This chick has a dragon-toothed sword, so you don't want to mess with her.
The process is going smoothly then?
Better than we expected. The array of reaction modules has allowed the UC to perform multiple constructions in parallel.
Wonderful. We'll have to try that trick at Area 51.
The program, you understand, is primarily a security concern.
Never mind that punk from UNATCO. The security here is adequate, and we have a long-term program guaranteed to make him irrelevant. We call it Icarus.
Icarus?
A sweet bit of engineering. You'll like it, but we can't talk here. Your office?
No time. Tell me on the way.
And by tell me on the way, she of course means walk in complete silence. But that looks like Bob Page to me. It even says his name when they are talking. And what would Maggie Chow have to do with Bob Page? Lord only knows, but I've kind of alluded to many different things over the course of the game already, which should be quite obvious to anyone that Maggie Chow is indeed a bad woman, and we already knew that anyway.
Your activities here have been noted.
And she's going to get quite a shock when she goes home to find out her maid and all of her bodyguards have been slaughtered in her own house. So we want to hack into this terminal here because there are some nice augmentation canisters waiting for us. So we want to do all of these. And emails. You will have to read these of your own accord, because I just do not have the time to be reading all these. So if you so desire to get more context on the state of VersaLife and the greater concept of the game, then you can read those at your leisure by pressing the very helpful pause button on your video player. So we now have some augmentation canisters, which are of course very useful at any point in the game. We already have this one, which is Spy Drone and Aggressive Defense System, so we can go ahead and drop that on the ground, and no one seems too perturbed by our stealing of all these augmentations. This one has targeting and vision enhancement. Let's go see.
I don't want to be disturbed.
Okay. Image scaling and recognition provided by multiplexing the optic nerve with doped polyacetylene quantum wires not only increases accuracy but also delivers limited situational info about a target. by bleaching selected rod photoreceptors and saturating them with metahordopsin, I don't know, 12. The night vision present in most nocturnal animals can be duplicated. Subsequent upgrades and modifications added for vision and sonar resonance imaging that effectively allows an agent to see through the walls. I got a bit of a William Shatner happening there, but regardless, we don't want targeting, we in fact want vision enhancement.
I have 2 words for whomever wrote this biometrics package. User interface.
Yeah, well, vision enhancement is a lot more useful because it allows you to see through walls and stuff, whereas targeting is just a glorified amalgamation of every weapon mod in the game. So radar transparency on this one. Radar absorbent resin augments epithelial proteins, microprojection units, distort agents, visual signature, provides highly effective concealment from automated detection systems, bots, cameras and turrets. That is pretty self-explanatory, but what we really want is this one, cloak, which acts pretty much as a thermoptic camo does. Subdermal pigmentation cells allow the agent to blend with their surrounding environment, rendering them effectively invisible to observation by organic hosts. This is what we want. That will aid our escape out of this base, if indeed the time arises when we do need to escape.
I'm afraid we don't have time for visitors right now.
The music's gone nuts because there are some very dangerous creatures in this holding cell. These are, as we are already aware, these are Greasels. And this is, well, this is a grey. And if you want to see some greys in action, well, just go through this door. And it's kind of like a zoo, but they're not really showing themselves. There you go. Over at the back of the room there. They're sort of running around like nuts. And we'll want to lock this door just in case they decide to open the doors. And they are rather scary looking. Yeah. Well, there you go. It's lucky I shut the door because this guy would be melting my brain right now if I didn't say anything. Wait. What does that mean? I don't know.
There's funny better than most, but he is very excellent.
Okay, so I think we're done here. All that's left... Well, there's another room back here. Dr. Bates, I've just finished supervising the refit of the super freighter fuel tanks to transport the virus. This stuff should really be shipped in suspension crates, but I know you'll want to rapidly offload it once it reaches New York. Biocontamination seals will not last past 36 hours, however, and a complete level 4 sterilization of the tanks will need to occur once the virus is offloaded to ensure that there's no incidental release. I integrated some sealed pumping units into the tanks, so you should be able to use standard YHU-55 couplers and A0 micron hoses for the transfer to the helicopters. Tell Simons I'd tell everyone in hazmat suits the whole time to stay still. And 3 picks opens up this empty closet, which is of course a very big waste.
Just some way of tracking all these people.
And these chicks don't seem too interested in JC, which is the story of his life, I would hazard to think. Nothing too interesting in that room, and even if there were, I'd probably get my head blown off trying to go anywhere near it, so it's best just to go ahead with the objective.
Who's there?
Step out where I can see you.
Whoever's out there, give yourself up. Sergeant,
nothing here now.
So this is of course the greatest escape ever in history. by use of our new augmentations. It is made rather effortless, and I'm getting hit with some serious lag. Probably, well, I have no idea why. Maybe my hard drive's filling up. In which case, I'd probably better call this quits. Alright, see you next time.